Hello friends, and happy Straturday. Psyberry here with another Darkest Dungeon How to Use guide. Real quick before I get rolling on this, thank you for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and share this guide with a friend. Alright, all that shit out of the way, let's do this. Today we're going to take a deep dive into how to play the Bowman. The Bowman was released July 17th of 2021 and last updated August 15th of 2021. The canon name for the Bowman is Maverick. The credits, real quick, are Kat was the creator, did the concept, the coding, and the writing. Metal Guy did all the art assets. 54NBB did the animation. Shay did the sound, and Uncanny Gemstar assisted with the coding. So, let's just go straight into the base stats here. The max HP is going to start at 20 and move to a 36 by end resolve. This is below average. It's not super worrisome. This is the same growth as a Grave Robber or Shield Breaker, so it's a little below average. Overall, he's a backline fighter, and we'll find out more on that a little bit later. So I wouldn't be too concerned with this. He's not a meat shield. The dodge is going to start at a 10 and progress to a 30 at final level. This is above average. This is the faster tracking of normal characters for dodge. Grave Robber and Hellion share the same dodge value. The prod is 0. The speed is a 5, progresses to a 6 at 3rd resolve and a 7 at 5th resolve. This is a good speed tracking. Same as the Bounty Hunter. Highwayman also has this speed, and he doesn't seem to have any issues with that. So you can expand on this to make him really, really quick, or you can utilize those trinkets on your allies to have him follow up after. The accuracy mod is 0, as you'd expect. The crit is a 6%, and it moves to a 10% at max resolve. This is top of the line for crit. It's going to be the same crit chances as Arbalist and Grave Robber. So basically, expect a lot of crits on this guy, especially if you're choosing moves with that priority in mind. And damage-wise, it's going to start at 5 to 9, and progress to an 8 to 14 at final level. At first, I was just comparing his damage to backliners, which is better than, but it is actually the same damage progression as a Man-at-Arms. And so this is not a bad progression with somebody who's got some AoE in their arsenal, lots of strong debuffs, can hit with blight and bleed. So overall, this is a pretty potent attacker with Man-at-Arms level damage capability. So let's take a look at the combat skills real quick. And we're going to begin with Change Arsenal. Change Arsenal can be used from any rank, and it's going to change your mode. We'll go more into this later. This will alter how his other moves, minor ways of how the other moves affect. Basically, you're going to shift between piercing mode to bleeding mode to blighting mode, and then back into piercing mode. Currently, there is no limit on how many times you can select this before you actually use an attack. This is a free action. It's just going to be choosing what type of arrows he's going to be using for the skill in question. So if you want versatility, include this in your move list. Otherwise, you've got 4 moves to choose between. The second is Sure Shot. It's usable from rank 3 or 4, and can target rank 2, 3, or 4 enemies. This is a ranged attack with an accuracy base of 100, and a crit mod of plus 5%. This does 100% damage. This is going to bypass guard, and bypass stealth. When you have piercing arrows selected, there's going to be an additional armor piercing of 30%, and bleeding arrows is going to have a bleed of 1/1, and blight is going to have a blight of 1/1 for 3 rounds. So this is kind of a good generic stealth bypassing move if you want a party who's going to not give a shit if the enemy is stealth. This is a good way to incorporate the Maverick in that kind of a game plan. It will also bypass guard, which is nice.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Third combat skill is Piercing Arrow. This is only usable from rank 4, but it will hit every enemy. This is a ranged attack with an accuracy base of 90 and a crit modifier of -7%. This is going to inflict some debuffs on the targets. It's going to inflict a -10% bleed resist debuff and a -10% blight resist debuff. So even if you can't land with bleed or blight, or even if you're using armor piercing at first, this is going to have a high chance of inflicting debuffs to allow it to be easier to bleed and blight in the future. So it's good to combo with himself, it's good to combo with allies that maybe want to follow up with one of those, and the damage mod actually is going to change based on which rank the enemies are in. It's going to lose some damage as it carves through them into the next. So it's going to be -60, -65, -70, or -75 versus those positions. So it's only going to do about 25% damage to the guy in the last rank, but it's going to do about 40% damage to the guy in the front. So it's actually pretty potent, and then when you factor in the piercing, bleeding, and blight, which is the same from the last attack, it's pretty good. And piercing is actually on Piercing Arrow. If you were in armor piercing mode, you're going to get an additional 30% damage to this attack. So that's going to bring up its potency considerably.
A decisive pummeling.
Fourth ability is Vital Snipe. Usable from rank 3 or 4. This can target rank 1, 2, or 3 enemies, and is a ranged attack with an accuracy base of 70, a damage modifier of +10%, and a crit mod of +16%. If you have Piercing Arrow selected, this will add the additional armor piercing as you expect, and the bleed and blight will do the same with 1 point a round for 3 rounds. This is a good mix-up move if you are fishing for crits. If you're looking for a crit, this is a great way to get it. The accuracy base itself is a little worrisome, but if you're equipping him with either quirks or gear that make accuracy not a concern, then this is actually a really potent way to do damage. So if you want to gear up for accuracy and just hit Vital Snipe a bunch, not bad. The other options are to add crit and whatnot to his trinkets and use other moves. Pretty much your call.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
The fifth combat skill is Limb Snipe. This is usable from rank 3 or 4 and can target any opponent. It's a ranged attack with an accuracy base of 95, a damage modifier of -40%, and a crit mod of +1%. This is going to debuff the target for -15% crits and -15 accuracy. These debuffs are pretty brutal. You are going to make them pretty much worthless at hitting or critting with their attacks for as long as that debuff lasts. The debuff does say here it lasts for 1 round, which is often enough to take them out of consideration in this game. It's going to have the same armor piercing +30, or bleed 1/1, or blight 1/1, based on Change Arsenal's current mode. The sixth combat ability is Powder Arrow. It's usable from rank 3 or 4, and can only target rank 2 or 3 enemies. It's a ranged attack with an accuracy base of 90, a crit mod of 3%, and does full damage. On a hit, all the other enemies are going to take 3 damage. This does grow as you level up. I believe my level 4... Yep, takes 4 damage. So it probably grows to a max of 5, I would have to guess. And that's a pretty considerable way to take out somebody who's already pretty wounded. If you know you're going to get a kill and you're going to also soften up the other enemies, it's not a bad way to do so. This is going to debuff the target for more crits received by 5%. So if that guy is not dead, they're going to receive crits more often for as long as they are still alive. And then you've got piercing arrows plus 30%. And then the bleeding and blight for 1/1 for 3 rounds. Depending on how you are outfitting and gearing up your Bowman, I like to use this a lot to finish off targets and to cleave and get some damage on the other guys as a bonus. And there's a trinket I like to use, this Calm Trinket, which will also, when you get a kill, is going to inflict certain things on the other living enemies. So this is a really good way to spread the dots around, and we'll get into that later.
Precision and power.
And the 7th ability here is the Kill, also usable from rank 3 or 4, but can target any enemy. This is a ranged attack with an accuracy base of 95, a damage mod of -20%, and a crit mod of 3%. This is going to do an additional 40% damage if the target's HP is below 66%, and an additional 40% damage if that HP is below 33%. So this is considerably good on people who are bloodied already, pretty much half dead, but even better on the foes that are already in critical condition. So this is a good way to finish off the last HP of bosses, or even to take somebody who's beaten up already, kill them with this. It also has the armor piercing plus 30, bleed, or blight for 1/1, based on your mode.
Monstrous size has no intrinsic merit.
So real quick, let's go through the camping skills. Generic Encourage, Wound Care, and Pep Talk. The first unique camping skill is Serrated Arrowheads. Its time cost 2. This is going to target yourself. You're going to add 15% to your armor piercing for 4 battles, and 20% to your blight and bleed skills for 4 battles. This is going to basically drastically improve what Change Arsenal already does for you, and you're just going to get more volatility out of that as you go for the next 4 combats. The second camping skill, Survival Skills. Time cost 4. You are going to add 20% to the scouting chance for 4 battles, and a 20% chance monsters are surprised for 4 battles. This is very good for scouting, obviously, but it's also secretly pretty darn good for dark parties as well, because that monster surprise is going to be very, very helpful. The third camping skill is Pack Lightly. Time cost 3. You're going to give yourself some buffs. Plus 10 dodge for 4 battles, plus 3 speed for 4 battles, and plus 999 speed on the first round for the next 4 battles. So basically, he's prepared. He's going to have those buffs that are going to help him in every round, but on the first round, he goes first. Period. End of statement. So yeah, that's going to be mighty helpful, especially if you're going to be using him to set Blight or Bleed. You don't really have to worry about it for 4 battles. And the final camping skill is Way Boots. This is time cost 1. It affects yourself only. You're going to add 40% to your move resistance in exchange for -1 speed. This is a good way to not get shifted out of rank 3 or 4. And this is not a bad time to lightly go over that. You'll notice he doesn't have a single move other than change his mode that he can use from rank 1 or 2. He's going to very much depend on keeping your other party members alive, because if they die and he's shifted to the front, he is literally unable to defend himself in those close quarters. Alright, real quick, let's go over his trinkets. We're going to end with the one I'm going to take into the dungeon with me here soon. The first trinket is Big Game Trophy. This is going to add 10% to your damage, 15% to damage versus size 2 creatures, and a plus 100% stress healed from kills. This is going to be at the cost of -2 speed. Not a big deal for him, honestly. This is not a bad way to increase his damage, and especially give him buffs against bosses. Again, I think the kill is a very good move to be using in a boss fight, because More HP means more turns where you're getting those empowered low HP damage strikes. The next one we're going to go over is Extra Dosage. It's the uncommon trinket, plus 30% to blight amount, and plus 10% to blight skill chance, in exchange for minus 2 speed. You're going to find the same thing in the next one, only for bleed, with a different negative. The Splinterwood Shaft is going to add plus 30% bleed amount, plus 10% bleed skill chance, minus 3% crit. These are not bad ways if you were finding that your current comp, or maybe when you run with a Bowman you prefer one or the other. If you're gonna run with a specific one for most of the dungeon, this is a good way to empower the bleed or blight that's going to give you. The common trinket we have here is Goggle Wipes. On attack miss, you are gonna buff self for plus 10 accuracy, which, funnily enough, that is his crit effect as well. He's going to buff his accuracy by 10 as well. So if you're going to get any crits, that's actually going to make you more efficient. And this trinket, when he misses, he learns from that mistake and gets more accuracy. What else to keep in mind before I go over the last comm trinket? Kind of out of sorts right now. It's kind of built into the comm trinket anyway. So let's just go over it and then I'll talk about some party comp things. The comm trinket here is Moon Oil Bowstring. On a hit, all other enemies are going to receive debuffs here for plus 20% blight and bleed amount received. The debuff percentage of 140% is pretty good. It's built for endgame, so you're not going to have to worry about it too much. That just means when you kill a foe, any bleed or blight on other enemies is going to become more potent by 20%. And on kill, other enemies are going to receive bleed and blight 1 point a round for 3 rounds. So basically, you're getting rewarded for killing people by spreading and accelerating bleed and blight around that enemy. So this is a good way to kind of get chip shots on people if you want to use the kill, if you want a powder arrow, or even if you get a kill with piercing arrow, it's going to accelerate bleed and blight around them. And I'm going to kind of experiment with that in this comp that I'm bringing out. But he serves as a weird, unique kind of kill shot / dot accelerator role in a party comp that it's not a very obviously advertised, but this comm trinket leaves a lot to possibility. If you're looking for quirks to keep an eye out for on the Bowman, I would prioritize range damage, dodge, crit. If you're the kind of person who want prot instead, choose that, because those are going to get you the most out of this. So probably the best quirks you can find and lock are Unerring, which I probably should lock this, Eagle Eye, Luminous, Cat's Grace, those kind of things. If you were planning on running out with Vital Snipe, or you love this move, things like, not Cat's Grace, did I say Cat's Grace? Corbett's Grace. If you're planning on running with Vital Snipe, Corbett's Eye actually will help you a ton as well. That'll give you 8 accuracy. Otherwise, keep your eye out for anything that a ranged attacker would love. So I think, real quick, we're gonna... that one, yeah. We're gonna run out on this quest, and I'm gonna experiment with that kill shot dot accelerator kind of roll, and we'll see what happens.
The smell of rotting fish is almost unbearable.
Okay, well, I want to go there eventually, but we're showing you combats first, so let's do that. Now, the concept behind this party is, again, to be dot spreading. So I've got on her bleed and blight going on for impale. Let's see, I want to change to bleeding arrows for now. No, I want to shoot the blighting arrows, don't I? Let's do that. So that free action you can do infinite amount of times to get to whatever style you want that turn, which is nice. I am gonna hit with powder arrow actually, and you'll notice 2 and 4 are my bleeding blight.
Continually
I'm gonna kill that guy, do the 4 damage to everyone. And now it's 3 and 5. And it's just gonna be slowly growing every time I get a kill, which is pretty fantastic. I'm gonna stun you. And I'm gonna yop.
Slowly.
Okay, and that kill, oddly enough, I have seen the few times I've run out with a moon oil bowstring, I have seen somebody dying to a dot that he had a part in putting on them, and then everyone else accelerating as well. So, weirdly enough, that is a consideration. Normally you have to directly kill somebody to get the on-kill benefits, but evidently not here. Oh my god, give me some combats, yo. I would be looting all this if it were, like, just me filming a Let's Play. But I'm in here trying to look for combats, and they are not easy to find. Thank god I was so quick getting through the rest. The video would go on forever. Okay, we're gonna dip in and grab these. Alright, so we used powder arrow last time, and they were dead. So unfortunately, this is a pretty potent group. I might not be able to show everything, but I am going to show how I use him. So normally I would follow piercing arrow, which is why he's in rank 4.
A singular strike.
And I'm basically getting more out of debuffs and blight. Now these guys are so bogged down with blight and debuffs that when he dies, it's going to cause some havoc.
A death by inches.
So only once a turn is it going to up the blight and bleed of these guys. Otherwise it would have happened again to this poor guy. But he's got 12 blight and bleed on him right now. So he's dead, and he doesn't know it. We are going to use the kill to get the plus 40%, which is now plus 45, doubled.
Their cursed champion falls.
That shit's fun. Okay, we have officially shown off all our normal moves. I'm going to try with this last combat to get some use out of those. There might even be some stealth enemies, so I might be able to use Sure Shot to its fullest. We'll see. Alright, no stealth, but that's fine. We're gonna do normal business otherwise. And that's the good thing about this, is as long as I'm getting kills, Moon Oil Bowstring is gonna keep me safe and sound. I'm gonna use Vital Snipe, because I think I've got a good chance of, yeah, I'll go with him. Getting a kill with it, and accelerating some blight.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
Oh, hell yeah. That feels good. Alright, I'm actually going to do this instead.
Obliterated.
Because I think
The ground quakes.
that's a good use of turn 1. We allowed one attack, and everything else got shut the fuck down. Alright. I'm actually going to do this, just to buy another turn for the Bowman. I'm going to yop. It's only going to get 1. That's fine.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
That's unfortunate. So now you got 8 Blight and Bleed total. Let's soften you up a little bit. Well, I'm gonna limb snipe him, I guess. Get that debuff going. Minus 22 crit, minus 22 accuracy. Those are really, really bad. And as you'll notice, he fucking missed. Like a punk ass. Again, I'm gonna see if I can buy a turn. Me first? Yeah, okay, okay. Well, sure shot, I can't hit him because he's in rank 1. That's unfortunate. I didn't think about that. We're going to change our arsenal for no real reason to get back into armor-piercing mode, and then I'm going to Vital Snipe him.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
So, if you're looking for a good versatile ranged attacker with debuff stuff and whatnot, the Bowman is exactly what you need. You should check out the Bowman today. Otherwise, let's see. Well, I've got another Let's Play coming up on Wednesday and another one of these guides coming up on next Saturday. If you're still watching this right now, hit the subscribe button. It's greatly helpful to the cause, and you're still watching anyway, so might as well get notified whenever I put out a new guide. Anyway, thanks for watching. Stay frosty.